Welcome to The Explainer, where we decode the hidden blueprints of reality from ancient sources. Today, we are going way beyond just looking at the creation of day and night. We are about to unlock the source code for all of existence, and believe it or not, it's all hidden inside a single, incredibly powerful verse.
Okay, let's dive right in. We're going to take a journey in 5 parts, from one simple verse to a complete schematic of the cosmos. We'll start by seeing how a name isn't just a label. It's a profound act of creation. Then, we'll look at how a primordial conflict, a war between two forces, actually gives birth to our reality. After that, we'll discover the central pillar that makes peace between these opposites. From there, we'll see how the moon itself is born from a desire for light. And finally, we're going to see how this ancient blueprint is right now running the operating system of our universe.
So we begin with one of the most famous lines in all of existence. It seems like a simple act of organizing the cosmos, right? But the deepest secrets, well, they're always hidden in the most familiar places.
Now, on the surface, this just seems like an assignment. Light gets the name day, darkness gets the name night. Simple enough. But what if it's not about giving names at all? This is the exact question the Zohar asks. What does this word Vayikra, he called, what does it truly mean? And this, my friends, isn't just playing with words. This is the key to the entire engine of creation.
You see, the secret that's revealed in the mystical texts is that to call is to summon, to draw forth, to literally channel a specific reality into existence. The Zohar explains that Vayikra means he called and he summoned to bring forth. So get this is the crucial point. God didn't just find some pre-existing light and slap a label on it called day. No, he actively channeled the very essence, the very concept of dayness from a higher potential into a defined manifest state. The name isn't a tag. The name is the address of the channel that reality itself is flowing through.
So, if calling is an act of channeling, then where is this energy being channeled from? Well, this act of creation draws from two fundamental opposing forces that underpin everything. And we're not talking about good and evil here. Think of it more like the positive and negative terminals of the entire cosmic battery. On one side, we have the right, the yamin. This is the energy of Hesed, or loving kindness. Just picture this as infinite, expansive, radiant, golden light. It's the masculine principle of boundless, unconditional giving. It just wants to flow and flow and flow forever. And on the other side, we have the left, the small. This is the energy of Gevurah, strength, judgment, limitation. Picture a deep blue shadow, the principle of contraction, of definition, of structure. This is the feminine principle that creates the vessels needed to contain all that light. Now, in their raw, unmediated state, these two forces are locked in what's called a machloket, a fundamental conflict. You see, the light of Chesed, without a vessel to hold it, is just chaotic, formless energy that can't really accomplish anything. But the structure of Gevurah, without any light to fill it, is just an empty, dark, sterile void. The texts tell us that the right side wants to completely dominate the left, and the left wants to totally overpower the right. On their own, neither one can manifest a stable, living reality. They're at a total impasse.
So how in the world does this cosmic standoff get resolved? I mean, how do you create a stable universe that has both energy and form? Well, the texts reveal a third, absolutely essential principle, a central pillar that actually makes peace between these two warring powers.
This central pillar is called Yesod, which literally means foundation. The Zoar describes Yesod as the foundation of the world, the middle pillar. It is a living, pulsing channel that stands right between the infinite giving of the right and the absolute containment of the left. It doesn't pick a side. Its whole job is to integrate them.
And Yesod doesn't crush the conflict, it harmonizes it. It takes that infinite chaotic light from the right and that defining structured darkness from the left, and it literally weaves them together. It allows them to coexist and create something totally new, something that is both full of light but also has a stable form. It is the ultimate act of cosmic mediation, making peace between these two primordial opposites.
And here is where the code is embedded right in the word itself. It's brilliant. The verse says Vayikra for the light, but when it talks about darkness, it just says Kara. That extra letter at the beginning of Vayikra, the Vav, is this powerful connector. In the mystical tradition, the letter Vav, which is shaped like a pillar, symbolizes this central channel, this unifying force of Yesod.
So the text is screaming at us that day wasn't just named, it was created by channeling the expansive energy of the right through this central pillar, giving it a stable, defined, and illuminated form. Okay, so that takes care of day, but let's move to the second half of the verse and see how this thing builds. In the darkness, he called night. If day is the product of the right side being channeled through the middle, what is night? It's not just the absence of day, it's not just the lights being turned off. It's an entirely different but equally important act of creation. So, while the right side was producing this massive outpouring of light that we call day, the left side, the side of Gevurah, had this deep, powerful yearning. It didn't want to just remain an empty vessel in the dark. It wanted to be included in the light. It wanted to receive that energy and give it shape and form. And this intense yearning, this desire to receive, actually produced its own creation, a perfect vessel. This vessel is called Malkut, the kingdom, and its physical symbol in our world is the moon, the Sihra.
This reveals a core principle of reality that is just so profound. Malchut, the moon, has absolutely no light of her own, zero. The Aramaic phrase from the Zohar is, Leit la nahora megayerma. She has no light from herself. She is born from the dark, receptive, defining nature of the left side, and her entire purpose, her whole being, is to turn upwards, receive the unified light that has been harmonized through Yesod, and then perfectly reflect that light down into the world.
So when the verse says he called the darkness night, what it really means is he channeled the contracting, receptive energy of the left through that unifying pillar of Yesod to create a vessel, night, the moon. And this vessel can receive and display that unified light in a completely new way. See, it's not the raw, direct light of the sun. It's a gentle, reflected, contained light that governs the cycles of time and shows us a completely different face of the divine flow. Night, therefore, is not an absence of light. It's a state of active reception and beautiful reflection.
Okay, so this entire dynamic, right versus left, harmonized by the center, received and reflected by the vessel below, this isn't just some ancient story about the first day of creation. It is a living, repeating blueprint for how reality functions at every single level. So let's have some fun and translate this cosmic source code into a few modern analogies just to see it in action.
All right, let's think about this in modern tech terms. Imagine you have two raw, opposing data streams. On one hand, you've got light stream, pure, expansive, totally unstructured data. On the other, dark stream. This is your structuring data, your schema, your containers. Alone, neither is very useful. So they get fed into a central processing pipeline. Let's call it the Yesod API, which integrates and harmonizes them. Now here's the crucial part. The final user interface, the Malchut UI, our moon. It has no native data of its own. It can only display what the Yesod API processes and sends to it. It's a perfect, real-time reflection of the integrated data streams from above.
Or, from an engineering perspective, it's just an elegant, flawless system. You've got two volatile, unstable input signals that would otherwise just cancel each other out. They're routed through a central processor that doesn't just average them out. It integrates them into a brand new, stable, coherent waveform. And this output is then projected onto a cyclical display, which creates the life-sustaining rhythm of day and night. It's just perfect design.
Now think of it like a divine energy management game. Your goal is to power up the reflective orb. If you only route the golden light, the world overloads, pure chaos. If you only route the shadow void, the world goes dark, sterile, empty. The core mechanic, the only way to win the level, is to achieve a perfect balance by channeling both of those opposing forces through the harmonizer conduit at the same time. See, the goal isn't to weaken one side, it's to perfectly integrate both to achieve a higher, more stable state of existence.
So, look, this ancient blueprint, it isn't just about stars and planets. It's a map of our own inner world. Every single one of us has these forces inside. That expansive desire to give, to create, to connect, that's our inner chesed. And we also have that contractive need for structure, for boundaries, for discipline. That's our inner Gevurah. This blueprint teaches us that a healthy creative life doesn't come from choosing one over the other. It comes from finding that central pillar, that inner Yesod, that allows us to harmonize these forces and reflect our own unique, balanced light into the world. This blueprint of opposition, harmony, and reflection is the engine not just of day and night, but of all creation. The question it leaves us with is, where else in our world and in ourselves can we see this fundamental pattern at play? Thank you for joining us for this complete journey through the Part S. We hope these ancient truths help you and your family improve your own dimensions this week.
If you enjoyed this full chapter deep dive, please like, subscribe, and share which part of the journey touched your soul in the comments. We'll see you in the next chapter.